Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of great shape, joining us now is a 14-time world champion. At one point in his life, he was 24 years old, and he was tasked with being the world champion of the WWE. Going into the Elimination Chamber this weekend, it looks like he's in the best shape I've ever seen him.
Holy shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, the owner of the most dangerous letters in all the sport, RKO and Orton.
Yeah, ready!
Man.
Yes.
How are you?
Wow. Brady, how are you?
Man.
Good to see you, man.
Whew. Gigantic go. I wish we were one of those European crowds and just sang this thing right through.
Yeah. Oh, man. That shit's great, ain't it?
How is that for you? Did you expect that whenever you went over there? I think it was a couple years ago. France maybe really turned it up?
We were in Lyon, France. It was, I think it was close to 2 years ago, and that's where it started. I've had that entrance song, Pat, for, since 2008 or 9. That's forever. Nobody ever sang it, and God bless the guys that sing the song. It wasn't my favorite entrance music in the world. You need something that punks you up. Now, we'll talk about the Chamber in a second. Trick Williams, his entrance music, I can't help. And now I can't dance. I have no business dancing.
We've seen you dance.
If you couldn't guess, no, you haven't. But when his shit plays, I can't help myself. My blood starts pumping. My music never really did it for me. So when I was coming back from my fusion that I had a few years ago, I was talking to Neil Lowry, thinking about changing the music.
Shout out, Neil.
Yeah, shout out, Neil. Neil, what's up? And, we were thinking about new music, and then I came back and it was like, man, I've had it forever. The fans like it. And then all of a sudden we're in Lyon, and they start singing it.
The universe told
you. And then the next week they start singing it. And then we come back across the pond, back to the States, they start singing it. And I'm like, okay, this is my music.
Are you still hearing voices in your head at this stage? How many years into this thing are you now? I think we saw 2000 is when you...
Yeah, 2000 since WWE?
Yeah, I started, with Rip Rogers back in OVW.
Greatest class in history.
Yeah, May of 2000 is when I took my first bump down in OVW, and I was down there for about a year and a half. And then a few years later, I was in Evolution. And I think it was in 2003 I was in my first Elimination Chamber match. So that was 23 years ago I stepped foot in the chamber for the very first time.
You talk about your fusion. I remember that being a terrible time. There's been other injuries. Obviously, you're a professional wrestler.
Sure.
Yeah, your dad in the business. You know the business. That comes with the business. Yeah. Especially, whenever you're working as often as you were working. Now, your style is you could be whenever. And I think you know that. You take a lot of pride in that. Yeah. And wrestlers always say how Randy works is how you should want to work.
Yes.
Rip Rogers says that. But still, it's going to happen and wear and tear. You look incredible right now.
Thank you.
You feel that way? You feel great, incredible? Why is that?
I do. You know what? I had injuries early on. I blew both my shoulders out before I was 25. I had major surgeries, and I had to kind of go back to ground zero and realize if I want to do this for any length of time, have any longevity, and I love this business, so that's all I want to do, right? I got to figure out how that I can get longevity out of the sport, out of the entertainment business, and that's what I've done. So I kind of honed my craft to where if you watch, and I hate to have anyone now look back at all my matches, but I haven't picked a motherfucker up in 20 years.
Don't have to.
No, and I don't. And it's not. People they're looking to do the fancy moves. It's not the move. It's me that's doing the move that makes it fancy, baby.
Yeah, listen,
it's the RKO. I've had that same finish. For almost my whole career.
Best finish in the biz.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
Ever.
Out of nowhere. Whenever that started becoming out of nowhere, and then it goes viral, and then it trends, and then you buy in with your family at home. It's like
everyone in the world was doing it.
All generations.
And then as soon as we see your ass pop up in the back of a frame, and here it comes. It's incredible, brother.
When I first met Logan Paul, he was like, man, I was doing the vines and I was doing the RKOs. I know what I said. I didn't know who you were, but I knew what the RKO was, and I was like, thanks, but but that's just an example of it superseded everything that I was as a brand. It was like the RKO. It was huge, and shout out to Diamond Dallas Page, the Diamond Cutter, and of course there was the Ace Crusher.
So Ace gets mad at you, I assume, that you don't give him a shout out ever. DDP gets a shout out. It sounded like you were just checking the box.
Yeah. You got to shout him out. I think that there's a story that goes way back where DDP did an interview where he said that I had given him a call. and asked him if I could use the diamond cutter as a finish. And now this was back like when I was in my early 20s, and I was having, it was a little rough around the edges, and I might not have remembered that conversation. So I called him out, and I said, bullshit, that's a lie. I never called him. Sorry, Paige. I totally did. That happened. I thought I might have been dreaming it, but no, it was.
I like the fact that back then, who you were, they're like, hey, you did the right thing. You called DDP. You were like, no, I didn't do that. I don't want to hear that. I did not do the right thing. That is kind of like old school business stuff, and I don't want to get into that entirety because,
of course,
there's so many little things, and how great you are for the business is a phenomenal thing. And there's a lot of different eras, and you've been through a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you have showed up for the fans. So I would like to say thank you for that.
Yeah,
now,
thanks, man.
Tom Brady hasn't seen any of them. Tom Brady hasn't seen a single one of them. Now, he's in great shape, too. He's got the avocado ice cream. He's back on. He's living his life. He's doing his thing. Whenever, this has always been the old school how people talk about wrestling, And him dropping the cute line, I know, was just like the greatest word that could enter your ears right there when you think about, this guy's no idea what he's talking about. Well, how does this kind of all make you feel now that you're in the middle of it with the greatest of all time?
Well, the thing with the cute line, like I'm just having fun at this stage of my career, man. I am just, especially after the injuries and the spinal fusion. I mean, there's no one on the roster that I'm aware of anyway that's had a lower lumbar fusion, let alone a double fusion. So the fact that I'm doing anyway, like every second I'm in that ring, I am soaking it up. And I've been doing this longer than damn near anybody. Gosh, I feel so grateful to be around. So hearing him call it cute, like I'm having fun. 10, 15, 20 years ago, I would have been hot. I would have had choice words to say for Tom Brady. But the RKO line, it's funny because I'll look at the comments sometimes just to get, it tickles me. But people get so freaking upset. And it's like, we were just having fun. But Tom, if you want to take an RKO, dude.
Yeah.
Call Pat. Pat will call me.
I would certainly love to do that for all parties involved, including the NFL fans, and I think some Patriots fans.
Sure.
Wouldn't mind seeing that at this exact moment. AJ has a question for you, Randy.
Yeah. You mentioned longevity. I guess I don't think there's any secret, any sport or business like, hey, the people that show up are consistent and work hard seem to be the ones that rise to the top and stay there. But, like, consistency, is that what, like, when you watch, how do you stay relevant for so many years? Because we see a lot of guys come up. I mean, I don't want to mention anyone, but there's different fans I've been with over the past where, hey, this guy's, he's on his way to the top, and then all of a sudden you never hear from him again. That's what wrestling is. How have you been able to be you forever?
Man, I think I've just been me. There's a lot of, I think like any.
Also, hold on, 6'5".
Yeah.
Wildly attractive.
Because
270
cool
pounds.
tattoos,
Cool tats. Yeah. Dad in the knows what he's doing. Best worker probably in the history of the company.
Stop it. My grandfather and my uncle wrestled too, as a matter of fact. But
so I need to add that in.
Ace
Cutter, sorry, Ace.
Yeah, it's not just Roman.
Rest in peace, Grandpa. Man, as far as that goes, I take care of my body. And the thing is, early on in my career, I think I got lucky because I was horrible to my body. Like, I was doing all sorts of shit I shouldn't have been doing. And I kind of had a reality check. And I turned things around. And I just, like, the in-ring work that we talked about earlier, like, I make sure that everything I'm doing, there's a reason that I'm doing it. I'm not just throwing myself around. I see young guys come up and, they don't hurt. They're able to. Javon Evans.
Unbelievable.
Perfect example.
This weekend, Elimination Chamber, if you haven't seen this dude, watch him.
Yeah, he is incredible. But I've had a couple talks with him because, like, he's doing so many things that nobody else can do, and he doesn't need to do them all every night.
It's like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy, perfect example. But another guy, I mean, he's still wrestling. And he's one durable son of a bitch. Yeah. And the heaviest man I've ever, I said I didn't pick anybody up. Early in my career, picking up Jeff Hardy, that was a chore. Yeah, he is a shout out to Chris Jericho. He's a heavy motherfucker too.
Well, that's why they're so devastating. That lion salt was so hard because he's heavy in there. The swanton bomb from Hardy. Go on a heavy.
I'm trying to think. I think that the heaviest, probably a 5-star frog splash from RVD would probably be the most stoutest thing I've ever taken. Oh yeah. RVD, amazing talent, but man, he hit you. You know what? He was like as solid as this freaking table right here.
I heard Rey Mysterio likes to lay it in a little bit too.
I love Rey Mysterio. I don't see nothing bad about Rey.
No. I would never. Rey Mysterio gave me a shot of tequila after my first match. I was going to the bathroom and I hear, Mr. McAfee outside.
I know that voice,
Yes.
but it wasn't tequila. Oh my God! Oh God, Ray. Oh,
He's the greatest. I have one of Ray's masks on my desk because of how much respect I have for now. Appreciation.
Yeah, Ray, dude, goat, greatest of all time.
And his kid just a sack of shit.
Yeah, a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit. But let's be serious.
Unbelievable.
On his way.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
When I first saw that guy 5-6 years ago, I thought, oh man, poor kid. Look at him now.
Yeah, he's
got the world by the balls.
Yeah,
monster.
just such a scumbag. But boy, he's got it figured out. And he's really good at everything.
Yeah, no, he's smart. He's got a look. He went from not having a look, and I'm thinking like, man, what's this kid gonna do? And now all of a sudden, he's like, got more heat than anybody.
And they drop him in AAA, and then he got him in Raw.
Oh,
and
yeah.
smack him, and he is
so
a wet
good.
worker. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, right.
Scumbag.
But a marvel to watch, especially with how the crowd reacts to him. I know you're a gamer. I saw an interview. You're big on Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Is that kind of your go-to hobby, or are you looking forward to some of the games, Crimson Desert coming out? There's some big ones coming. Is that where you go to get away?
I am a gamer, and the weirdest thing is, like, so I'm trying to think back when my dad was around my age, and just to imagine him playing video games.
Yeah.
God, I feel kind of like a geek sitting here talking about it. No offense to all the gamers out there, but
None taken.
I love video games.
Are you good at them?
My poor wife. Oh my God. I'm like, hey, honey, Brooklyn's in bed. I'm gonna go down to the media room. And she's like, see you in 3 hours. You know. But Elden Ring, the one I'm playing right now, it's Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Amazing, amazing. It's like watching, Avatar or something. You immerse yourself in it. You have fun, and you just kind of it's. I don't watch a lot of sports.
That's all right.
But like movies, video games, that's like where I get my.
Your wife and you are cool.
Yeah. Oh.
Nobody talks about you guys as a couple, like whenever it comes to like celebrity stuff, because you guys stay out of it all so much.
Yeah, no,
you two are awesome together. Feels like you're a perfect match.
We want nothing to do with all that shit. My wife is absolutely amazing, man. She really is, and I've got 5 amazing kids. I feel I got to pinch myself every morning when I wake up. I am like the luckiest guy in the world, and I've had so many chances at life. I've effed up a bunch, but I got a bunch of good people around me, man, at work and just throughout my career. And that's another reason with the longevity, man. Like, the right people were there to kind of pick me up, slap me around, and say, don't do that again. And I was given, I don't know if it was the talent or if it was, they saw something in me. Maybe it was just potential at the time, but I was given those chances. And because of that, I'm still here. So I got to give credit to those guys and gals that gave me those 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Not just still here, still in it.
Hey, still bringing it.
Elimination Chamber this weekend.
Yes.
You've been in a lot of them. You talk about what 23 years ago you were in or something like that. What is the mindset here? What is the plan? What's the game plan? What do we need to do here?
Yeah,
because we would like to see you.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're a betting man, definitely bet on me.
Yes.
I'm winning that thing. You know, I'm 40. I'm 46 in a couple months. And, I can't do this forever. I've been doing it 26 years. If I could do it another decade, I will. The work rate, the way that I wrestle, maybe I could pull that out. But I know that time's coming. So I don't know how many more chambers I got. I don't know how many more WrestleManias I got. I think this will be my 21st WrestleMania coming up.
Jeez.
I just want to keep stacking them up, man. So, every week I'm taking it kind of one week.
Yeah, you look so fat on TV when I see you.
I'm bloated. I'm a bloated mess right there.
I think the first time I saw you, I was a fan here. I was a fan here in Indianapolis.
Is that the Miz?
Yeah, Miz is eating a few
How's
of those.
that feel?
Miz
Miz got longevity too.
Yeah, he hasn't won in a long time. 4 years.
He's another guy, man. He's been around forever. Kudos to him. He's a durable son of a bitch too.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And I beat him at Mania, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't the only one. I mean,
you've had a couple good showings, man. I seem to remember you out there with Stone Cold having some fun.
wide.
And that was probably just all called on the fly, on the spot. I'm guessing he's like, throw Pat out there, right?
I can't hear him either. So, so we're out there. Yeah, it is all getting called on the it is.
Yeah.
And it's all out there. And
talk about learning from the best.
oh my God.
Yeah.
In AT&T Stadium in Texas.
Yes.
Steve Austin in there.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, come up here. It's like, Yeah, of course. This is what I'm doing. Yeah. And, I'm trying to rely on what I've heard you guys or other guys talk about. Like, all right, when I'm just following along right now. That is all I'm doing here. I'm going in and I'm listening. And then he starts talking. And I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. I can't hear him. His
gravelly voice. No,
yeah, because he said, you see the video. I watched the video back where he points to both things. I couldn't hear a word he was saying, and I was okay, I've done it before. Yep, we're doing beers. Okay.
Yeah, right. Thank God you were a fan, or you are a fan, and you had watched and you knew what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah, and then whenever as you receive a stunner, like as a wrestling mark and as somebody that's watched the entire thing, it's like, this is the greatest thing that could ever happen to me in my entire life. And also, I've been thinking of how I would take a stunner for 20, 30 years at this.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like immediately like, oh shit, this is we've been planning.
Yeah.
We've been planning.
Yeah.
And the thing about you guys, obviously, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And how you strategize and work is how you're going to get a win. But all of that is happening fully encompassed. Broadway, live in front of people, but it's only one way. Like concerts, there's comedians that are in the middle, but they're not doing physical things that are happening. You guys having people at all angles around you, watching your every single move, listening to everything, has such an amount of pressure, I think, to execute on everything. Yeah. Whenever there's a mess up, it's a huge deal. That's why mess ups are such a big deal, because you guys, it's unbelievable the amount of talent that you guys have. Honestly, it is unbelievable. I feel like you probably took a lot of pride in this next generation, like in helping to lend a hand and carry on the tradition of the biz.
100%. And you're right about, it's 360 degrees. You're playing to everybody in the crowd. A place like this, you got tens and tens and tens of thousands of people you're playing to. Then you're playing to the people at home sitting on the couch too. So there's all these different elements. But as far as the younger talent, I get, in my salty old age, I've gotten some fulfillment in helping out the younger guys.
You didn't want to, though, earlier.
No, of course not. Well, I don't want anybody to take my spot. And then I kind of got to the point where I realized that,
that's not possible.
They can't take my spot.
No.
Yeah, I'm Randy Orton. Sometimes I got to remind myself that
well, 100%. I'm human, and I forget, but then then I remember. It's like, let me help these kids out. And there's a few of them. Now, you get the occasional kid that'll come up and like, hey, will you watch my match? You watch it. You talk to him. He doesn't change anything or take any advice, and you realize, like, oh, okay, you piece of shit. You're doing what you think you should do. But then there's the guys that really care. And, I mentioned like a Javon Evans or a Trick Williams, and there's so many other guys. I could name so many guys.
Can I explain something to you that you might not realize?
Yes.
So I've learned this with Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers has been in the league so long. All the guys that are in the league basically grew up as fans of Aaron Rodgers.
Sure.
So, like, whenever they play against Aaron, you hear media talk about Aaron, they try to kill him, you hear all these people, but you hear players talk about it, and they're like, that's Aaron Rodgers right there. Right. That's what's happening with you, I think. We all grew up watching you somehow, even though you're still in the business as good as you are.
Sure.
So these guys all grew up being like, Randy Orton is the guy. So you giving them any time, I think they're very thankful for. And I am pumped that you're doing that for the good of this business.
Yep.
I think you're doing it good for this business. Tone has a question for you, Randy.
Yeah, I do, and it's kind of around how long you've been in the new generation. I lived in Southside Pittsburgh from 2006 to 2010. Mario's after Monday Night Raw. You and the guys had a room upstairs. You went there after Raw.
That was when he called DDP.
Maybe.
Did you say 06?
It was 06 to 010. I can't remember what year it was.
Okay, yeah, those are fun years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying, and we talk a lot about being here at the Combine and the new generation. Like, you guys went out after events, and that's how you built camaraderie, I assume. Mm-hmm. Does the new generation do that at all? Is that how has the locker room kind of changed over the years, and like, what do they do for camaraderie now?
I think that a lot has changed. So with social media and everybody having a recording device on them, so much has changed. And I was just talking about my wife and my kids, and I know they might be watching. I don't want to get into the exacts, but like we were always getting into something after the show.
Sure.
And I mean, I think last year I heard LA Knight wrestled 64 times, and that was the most anyone wrestled last year.
Yeah.
64 times. I was averaging like 180 matches a year for 15 years.
Whew.
In 2013, I think I had like 220 something. So like times have changed, but that's a lot of night out.
Yeah.
Nights out, with the guys. The camaraderie was, camaraderie galore. We had a lot of fun.
A lot of camaraderie.
Yeah.
And much. And God, be in so much trouble this day and age. So I think the guys now are smarter. They're more interested in getting up early and training the next day. your body's your temple. You know what I'm saying? Times have changed. We used to put a lot of things in our body.
Yeah, here too, dude. Football's the same.
Yeah. So I think just like with football, I'm
parallels.
sure. I think a lot of that's the same. So I think they're getting together. They're hooking up. But they're doing on a safer, more respectable, smarter plan.
Shame.
All right, Rip Rogers.
Big shame.
Yeah, big shame. It's football. We say that about football too.
Yeah.
We're kind of bummed out that this generation doesn't get to experience the keg as much as they do the kale. You know, because it's like you get a lot tighter here than I think on this side. But that's the modern world. Nobody wants to go out and get caught doing like anything ever. Get a little booze and you say one thing wrong, your career and your family's over forever.
Oh yeah, forget about it.
Yeah, it's over. So, last question for me. I also trained with Rip Rogers. He Indiana legend, obviously down in OVW. Hilarious human being. But the classic old school wrestler.
Yes.
You know, just like the classic. They hate, I think, the modern era of wrestling. More specifically, the Unreal thing on Netflix.
Gosh.
I hated it. Okay, I felt like I was an old wrestler whenever it first got introduced. I hated everything about it. I'm like, I'm not doing any of this. So then I watch a couple episodes. I'm like, I could see how people who aren't wrestling fans might watch this and have more respect for what wrestling is as opposed to, beforehand. So maybe it's exposing it more. Then I was asked to be a part of it. I told them no. Then they kind of forced me into it. I told them you can't have a camera in here. Joey, who we like, set up a camera up on the Thunderdome to get. Without my, I think I could kind of sue, but kind of without my permission in this entire thing. Yeah. And then I'm lucky to be a part of that Unreal. I'm happy that my daughter and my boys are going to be able to see that kind of documented. So it's kind of a double-sided thing here. How do you feel about it?
It's hard. Well, it depends on the time of day you ask me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think like you at first, this is terrible. Because there was a day and age where, if you were working with a guy, I'm a bad guy, he's a good guy, we might be bros, but we're not going to ride together, even though we want to. We're not going to be seen in public together. Certainly not in the town we're wrestling. Now it's like, not like that at all. Kayfabe is dead.
No!
Yeah, well, you're just talking about putting a camera up on the fucking...
Yeah.
yeah. Kayfabe's dead. This is entertainment. We're all superstars. I understand it, and I also hate it. Yeah. And I understand it, and I think it's necessary. I think bringing in a crossover, like you said, your daughter get to see it, and she'll understand it, and people that aren't fans might be fans and have more of a respect for what we do and listen, if you don't know what goes into it, and now you watch Unreal and you realize, like, oh my God.
A lot of thought.
There's a lot, and it's boom, boom, boom. Live TV almost every day of the week. It's insane when you think about the amount of content that's put out and how it's pretty much all live. So I think it makes sense to me that it's a thing, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
I think they're going to force you to like it at some point.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I've seen a few episodes, and I've seen myself in the background doing shit, and I'm like, eh.
You've never let it in?
No.
Because all the OGs would kill you.
Yeah, I don't think they'd kill me. I think they all get it too, and even Rip. Well, maybe not Rip.
No way.
He hates it.
No.
But it's just
like Heyman.
Different generation, man.
Paul Heyman said the same thing about how it's
adapt.
This, it's that. We got to adapt, and then I assume that they'll end up working that. I assume that'll end up being a work. Like I assume wrestling will do what wrestling does to Unreal at some point.
Right.
But it was certainly a shock to the system.
Yeah, big time, especially for me. Yeah.
All right, CM Punk's back. He's the guy.
Yeah, Punk's back. Punk's cool. He's
huge one in Chicago.
Yeah, big one, and
AJ back.
Yeah. Well, Finn Balor. Let's talk about Finn. Talk about holy smokes, smoothest guy out there, dude. I can't wait to watch him and Punk in Chicago. That's going to be a banger, dude.
AJ and Becky going to be huge.
Does Finn eat pizza? You ever seen Finn eat a piece of pizza?
Sandwich?
I have not seen Finn eat
I didn't think
pizza.
so.
No.
And he's Irish too. He should like.
Oh, I see what you're saying because he's shredded.
Yeah.
I think he eats whatever he wants. To be
Okay.
honest. Yeah.
What about you?
That makes me hate him.
He's one of the I fluctuate. I'll go up and down. Sometimes the diet suffers, the abs disappear, and I'm all of a sudden 300 pounds. You've seen me.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll dip down to 280 and kind of.
There was a time you came back, I forget when it was, and you might have been 310 pounds. And I'm like,
oh, we were there. When we were there?
Look at this thing.
Shredded.
Because your quads are gigantic. So then anytime the upper body gets even bigger, it's like,
Yeah.
is this Brock walking out?
I was too big, bro. Too big.
Your knees were probably upset.
Oh, yeah, too big. You can't get a fusion and gain 60 pounds.
No, you can. You just can't expect to do things.
You can, but
Yeah.
it's not smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy, we appreciate you stopping by, man.
Thank you, Pat.
Safe travels up to Chicago.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We're pulling for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
We would like you to win for the good of the business.
Yes.
Yeah,
For
well,
real.
Well, I'm going to win this thing, go to WrestleMania, main event it, and get that 15th
Hell
world
yeah.
title.
Boom.
Yeah.
And then what? And then we're gonna get. Then you got to give it up again, and then you got to go.
16.
And then
What?
what?
That's right. That's right. I don't think anyone's getting more than 17. Yeah, you know what I mean? If you know what I mean.
You're the man.
I love you, John.
I'm a VW classmate.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, 14-time world champion Randy Orton.
Yeah, Randy.
Hey, can we get a selfie with you?
Stand up,
man. Appreciate
AJ.
it. Good luck.
Jeez, this guy, this son of a bitch.
I did.
New game coming out, Randy.
Hey, I just saw you paid $1,000 to upgrade your character. What a mark. See you, dude. See you, dude. He's the man.